I found myself taken aback by my uncle's unexpected suggestion last night. As we prepare to embark on this journey together, remember to show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. I would love to hear from you in the comments about where you're tuning in from. In my formative years, my world revolved around my mother. Father, a soldier by trade, often found himself distant, devoted to his duty. Work took him away often, leaving me with only fleeting moments to cherish his presence. My mother embraced the essence of both parents, creating a sanctuary that was always warm, serene, and filled with affection. Her kindness and nurturing spirit shone through, as she devoted herself to maintaining harmony in every detail. Detail held significance for her. She yearned to cultivate a nurturing atmosphere, and I could sense the affection woven into every corner of our home. Occasionally, my uncle would grace us with his presence, bringing warmth and a sense of connection to our home. He was my mother's brother, and he always seemed to flow seamlessly into the warmth of our family. His visits filled the air with warmth and delight. Tender way about him, his laughter a soft melody that filled the air. Each time he appeared, he brought little treasures that lit up my heart and made me feel cherished. Unique charm that infused our surroundings with joy, effortlessly illuminating our home with warmth and laughter. Was a deep sense of trust that enveloped me when I thought of him. He was like family, a guiding presence that I admired for his unwavering care and support in my life. At 20, I find myself as a university student, navigating what I once believed to be a rather ordinary existence. My studies were a source of focus, my family provided warmth, and life unfolded in a gentle rhythm, offering a sense of comfort and assurance. Life felt exquisite. There were, naturally, the familiar highs and lows that accompanied the journey of young adulthood, yet nothing could have truly equipped me for the unfolding of what was to come. One evening, after an exhaustive series of classes, I returned home, enveloped in a profound sense of weariness. My body was weary, enveloped in the comforting weight of familiar sensations, and all I longed for was a moment of tranquility. It was one of those days when the body feels a bit out of sorts, and the heart is softly vulnerable. To my surprise, I discovered my uncle waiting for me upon my arrival, a familiar presence that stirred unexpected feelings. His presence enveloped me in a gentle embrace, a source of trust and solace. He had been a constant in my life, turning each encounter into a cherished moment filled with familiarity and warmth. When he appeared before me, I felt an undeniable pull and accepted his offer to assist with my coursework without hesitation. I found his gesture to be quite thoughtful. He settled next to me on the couch, our proximity allowing me to breathe in the comforting aroma of his cologne, a scent that enveloped me in warmth and reassurance. Everything felt familiar, reminiscent of the warmth of past encounters. We shared a moment of conversation, and he inquired about my studies and how I was experiencing life at the university. I opened up about my experiences, feeling a warm sense of appreciation for his genuine interest in my journey. He appeared truly invested, inquiring about my classes and how I was navigating it all. Yet, as our dialogue unfolded, a sense of weariness began to envelop me. My body craved solace, while my thoughts started to wander gently. Eventually, I turned to him and softly expressed that I needed to rest for a while. He offered me a gentle smile, his eyes reflecting a deep understanding, and softly encouraged me to take some time to rest. His response held no surprises, nothing that stirred my emotions or shifted the familiar rhythm of my feelings. I rose, comforted by his gentle warmth, and glided toward my room, yearning to relax and seek solace from the day's weight. Unbeknownst to me, my uncle's visit that night carried an unexpected weight. As I entered my room, a warm feeling enveloped me, reminding me of the deep gratitude I hold for my loving family. My mother was a constant source of support, and my uncle enveloped me in warmth and kindness. Though there was no cause for concern, an unsettling feeling lingered within me that day. A subtle sensation lingered within me, elusive and ungraspable, yet I chose to dismiss it, attributing it to my weariness. I slipped into my soft, cozy attire and settled onto my bed, yearning for a moment of tranquility. My thoughts drifted to the intimate exchange I shared with my uncle. He had inquired with an intensity that felt different, more profound than before. Initially, I perceived his behavior as mere friendliness, yet now, as I recline in contemplation, I find myself pondering the depth of his fascination with every little thing I do. During that time, I sensed a shift within me, as if my body was embracing a different rhythm than it typically does. At times, a sense of restlessness would wash over me, and my thoughts would wander into unexpected realms. It felt like my body was whispering its desires, particularly during those intimate days of the month. I frequently experienced a captivating blend of feelings that left me uncertain about how to navigate them. In those days at boarding school, life took on a deeper complexity. Being enveloped by the presence of so many other girls allowed me to constantly absorb fresh perspectives and heartfelt stories. It seemed as though an endless flow of discussions enveloped us, touching on every topic, even the intimate details of our cycles. My friends spoke of it with such ease, as if it were simply woven into the fabric of existence. As my friends shared their personal tips and experiences, they wove a narrative that felt so natural, so fluid, that I found myself captivated by their stories. As we sat closely in the dormitory, enveloped by the warmth of laughter and lively exchanges, I found myself captivated by their candid reflections on their experiences with their periods. They shared soft laughter, weaving tales of how they navigated the cravings and the emotional tides that often accompanied that time of the month. One of them spoke of a doodle that brought them comfort and fulfillment whenever their bodies stirred with a particular sensation. "With this, we need no man," she declared with a confident sparkle in her eyes, a playful grin illuminating her features. The others responded with enthusiasm, and I observed them as they engaged in heartfelt conversation, sharing how they had discovered the strength to fulfill their own desires. They exchanged intimate whispers, and for them, this was neither forbidden nor shameful, it was a source of strength. Their words flowed with a captivating grace, each syllable infused with a deep sense of pride and assurance that drew me in completely. As they continued sharing, another friend joined in, her eyes shimmering with delight. "It's like a small journey you can embark on whenever you desire." Her enthusiasm enveloped me, drawing me in as I listened with heightened attention to the ways they discovered their own bodies and uncovered what brought them joy. They discussed it as if it were an inherent, delightful aspect of existence, a journey every girl should embark on for herself. Initially, a wave of shyness washed over me, leaving me uncertain about my ability to connect with their words. It felt like a daring choice, an idea that had never crossed my mind in this light before. As the conversation deepened, and I witnessed their appreciation for their journey of self-discovery, a warm curiosity began to blossom within me. I felt a deep desire to grasp the essence of their conversation and to uncover the reasons behind its significance to them. They shared their thoughts on the gentle touch of their hands or the soothing presence of certain objects, finding solace in these moments when the world felt too intense or emotions surged within them. For them, it felt as if they had discovered a hidden passage to a realm where they could embrace solace and joy in their own unique way. Each narrative they revealed illuminated the notion that understanding and nurturing our own bodies is a vital aspect of embracing strength and empowerment. Their words flowed with a confidence that transformed my perception of this chapter of life into something deeply personal and profound. The realization that our sense of satisfaction and fulfillment could come from within, independent of anyone else, especially a man, was profoundly freeing for me. For the first time, I started to uncover the depths of my own emotions and desires, perceiving myself in a beautifully new way. I came to understand that a vast world of knowledge awaited me, filled with deeper insights about myself just waiting to be unveiled. These conversations stirred something deep within me, prompting reflection on my own path and the initial step I could take towards discovering what brings me joy, confidence, and a true sense of self. The conversation stirred something deep within me, awakening a desire to embrace that same sense of liberation. It was a journey of self-discovery, embracing the warmth of my own essence. As I absorbed their laughter and tales, a warm thrill began to stir within me. I understood there was much for me to discover, yet I felt a deep readiness to embark on my own journey, much like my friends had before me. One afternoon after school, I felt compelled to confide in a friend about it. "What is a doodle?" I murmured, a blend of apprehension and intrigue swirling within me. She smiled softly and shared that it was a way some girls discovered solace during their monthly cycles. She shared with me how it might soothe those unexpected emotions that would occasionally arise. I absorbed her words deeply, captivated by their essence. My friend gently urged me to explore it whenever I found myself feeling curious or a bit unsettled. "It's meant only for you," she whispered. "Discover the depths of your being and uncover the sensations that bring you joy." A sense of uncertainty lingered within me, yet a deeper part yearned to explore and comprehend. The thought danced in my mind, a captivating enigma yearning for resolution. During my school days, I made the choice to explore the art of doodling. A flutter of anticipation coursed through me, mingling with a hint of trepidation, as I stood on the brink of the unknown. I recalled the intimate exchanges shared with my friends, each one painting a vivid picture of the joy it could evoke. One afternoon, as the world slowed down around me, I inhaled deeply and decided to embrace the moment. From the very start, I was pleasantly surprised by the ease and warmth that enveloped me during the experience. The sensation enveloped me, akin to a gentle tide that swept through, dissolving every trace of stress and tension I had been holding on to. A gentle smile graced my lips as a wave of relaxation enveloped me, inviting me to release the restlessness that had quietly accumulated within. It felt like uncovering a deeply intimate truth that liberated the soul. This was a facet of my being I had never fully delved into, and now that I had, I recognized it as something precious, something I could hold dear and return to whenever I desired. From that moment on, the doodle transformed into my cherished ritual, a tender secret I held dear within my soul. Even after I departed from home and embraced university life, the warmth it provided lingered within me. I discovered a comforting refuge in the knowledge that I could find tranquility whenever the familiar unease of my period began to surface. It transcended mere relief. It became a cherished ritual, a gentle act of self-love that brought warmth and anticipation to my heart during those trying times. As I welcomed the arrival of my period once more, I felt a deep resolve to embrace that comforting familiarity. I found myself reminiscing about the moments that once filled my heart with joy and tranquility, and I felt a deep longing to experience them once more. In the stillness of my dorm room, I embraced a serene moment, taking care to envelop myself in solitude, as I began to ready my mind and body for the journey ahead. My heart quickened with excitement, a warm sensation coursing through me at the mere thought of what lay ahead. As I settled in, a delightful mix of anticipation and comfort enveloped me, embracing me like a soft, warm blanket. I closed my eyes, surrendering to the memories of sensations that had once enveloped me, embracing the richness of the moment. This was my moment, a chance to let go, to melt away any stress, and to embrace a joy that felt entirely personal. I allowed myself to wander, embracing each sensation completely, relishing the liberation and delight of the experience. It was a sanctuary I had crafted solely for my own enjoyment, a moment to revel in the delight that belonged to me, liberated from scrutiny or anticipation. Each time I ventured into this intimate journey, I unearthed a fresh facet of my being. It was exhilarating, enveloping me in a sense of liberation that I had never felt before. Since I began this journey, I've come to understand that my happiness and fulfillment don't rely on having a boyfriend. Initially, I wondered if it was wrong to center my attention on my own enjoyment, particularly as many of my friends were immersed in their relationships or sharing stories about their infatuations. They frequently teased about the need for a boyfriend for certain experiences, yet I found a deep sense of fulfillment in what I had discovered. I sensed a profound connection to my own joy. There were times when I found myself pondering whether I was overlooking a deeper connection by not being in a relationship. I observed my friends reveling in tender moments with their partners, and it made me ponder the beauty of such a profound connection. But then, I recalled the bliss that enveloped me in my intimate moments. I discovered a sense of contentment in my own company, embracing the moment without the need for a partner. This was my moment to explore my essence and uncover what brought me joy. Embracing the journey of self-love was an experience that resonated deeply within me, filling me with a sense of strength and warmth. These moments spent in solitude enveloped me in a warm embrace, filling me with a profound sense of comfort and tranquility. I felt a stirring within me, a gentle awakening that signaled the start of my journey into self-discovery. The anticipation of uncovering the layers of my being filled me with a warm excitement, free from the weight of others' opinions. After I had found my release, a profound sense of tranquility enveloped me. I reclined on my bed, enveloped in a sense of deep satisfaction, a soft smile gracing my lips. As I allowed my body to melt into the plush mattress, I savored the tranquility that enveloped me after a long, demanding day at university. My eyes fluttered shut as the stillness of the room wrapped around me, comforting and warm. A gentle calm enveloped me, as though the burdens of the day had gracefully faded away. If you're still engaged with this video and feel a connection to the story, please share a 1 in the comments to let me know you're here with me. Just as I was drifting into the embrace of sleep, a gentle knock interrupted the stillness, drawing me back into the realm of consciousness. Awakened by a sudden noise, I sat up swiftly, my heart fluttering as I sought to understand the source of the surprise. Who might be arriving at this late hour? The unexpected arrival of visitors caught me off guard, and it felt peculiar that someone would choose to come by at such a late hour. I remained motionless, attuned to the sounds around me, wishing it could simply be a figment of my imagination. Then the knock came again, this time more insistent yet still tender, beckoning me to rise and respond. With a blend of intrigue and trepidation, I rose, approached the door, and gently pulled it open. To my surprise, it was my uncle standing there, gazing at me with an expression that stirred something deep within, leaving me curious and captivated. There was an intriguing depth in his eyes, a quality I had never observed until now. A delicate shiver danced along my spine, as a wave of unease enveloped me. I attempted to brush it aside, reassuring myself that all was likely well, just as it had always been before. With a gentle effort to keep my tone light, I inquired, "Are you okay?" Yet, my heart revealed the truth beneath my composed exterior, quickening its rhythm with every fleeting moment. I gazed at his face, seeking a glimpse of the reason behind his late arrival or what might have stirred this unexpected encounter. Yet, as I gazed into his eyes, that disquieting sensation deepened within me. There was an unsettling quality in his gaze that stirred a deep unease within me, a subtle warning echoing softly in the recesses of my thoughts. He surveyed the room with a lingering gaze, as if seeking something elusive within its depths. "Yeah, I'm fine," he replied, but there was a softness in his tone that hinted at something deeper beneath the surface. He moved a step nearer, and a wave of anticipation washed over me. I moved on my bed, attempting to maintain a playful tone even as the atmosphere thickened with unspoken feelings. "What draws you to this moment?" I inquired, striving to maintain a warm tone, even as a tension coiled within me. I sensed the weight of his gaze upon me, exploring the depths of my being in a manner that transcended the ordinary bond of uncle and niece. "I simply wanted to see how you were doing," he murmured softly, his tone gentle. "It feels like ages since our last encounter." There was an intriguing depth in the way he spoke, a weight that lingered in the air, making the simple visit feel charged with unspoken emotions. I wished to dismiss it, to think of him merely as a concerned uncle, yet something deep within me whispered a different truth. I offered a smile, wishing it could soften the atmosphere that surrounded us. "I'm doing well, truly, just unwinding," I responded, attempting to convey a sense of joy. Yet, beneath the surface, a complex blend of uncertainty and discomfort stirred within me. What brought him here at this moment? What was that expression on his face? Thoughts swirled within me, each one stirring a deeper sense of unease. A lingering sensation tugged at my heart, whispering that something was amiss. His demeanor transformed, and there was a depth in his gaze that captivated me like never before. It seemed as if he was sharing a deeper message, one that stirred a sense of caution within me, leaving me unprepared to fully grasp its essence. His gaze rested on me, filled with an intriguing intensity, as if he contemplated drawing nearer, maybe even sharing the space beside me on the bed. I took a deep breath, sensing my heart race with an unsettling intensity. The way he gazed at me held a depth that transcended the warmth of familial affection. It was unlike anything I had experienced, and it sent a delightful shiver down my spine. It seemed as if he was attempting to convey a hidden longing, an intensity that stirred a sense of discomfort within me. I attempted to persuade myself that it was merely a figment of my imagination, that I was misunderstanding the signals around me. Yet, beneath the surface, I sensed that this gaze, this sensation, was anything but ordinary. It felt incongruous, enveloping the atmosphere with a palpable tension that seemed to weigh heavily upon me. As I shifted restlessly, I sought to dissolve the palpable tension that enveloped us, lingering like a dense mist. "Is there something on your mind that you'd like to share?" I inquired, my voice trembling just a bit, even as I tried to maintain an air of calmness. I wished that guiding the dialogue toward a more innocent topic would ease the tension between us. He paused, caught in a moment of unvoiced tension, his face oscillating between the comforting affection of an uncle and a shadowy depth that stirred a sense of unease within me. He said he was checking in, but something about the moment felt different. The intensity of his response stirred a wave of emotion within me, and I felt my heart racing as I compelled myself to maintain his gaze. I felt the need to express to him that his gaze stirred something within me, a discomfort that lingered. I cherished the space we shared and wished to keep it clearly defined, yet the words lingered, ensnared in the space between my heart and my lips. Instead, I traced the edge of my blanket with my fingers, seeking a sense of calm within myself. I reminisced about the moments when my uncle's kindness and support enveloped me like a warm embrace. It was challenging to connect the essence of that person with the one who stood before me in this moment. "I'm truly okay, just immersed in my studies and finding moments to unwind," I reassured, trying to dispel the rising tide of discomfort within me. Yet, as I spoke, I noticed a flicker in his gaze, a whisper of something unexpressed that urged me to draw deeper within myself. I longed to shut the door once more, to carve out a sanctuary for myself, a gentle reminder that I was enveloped in my own haven of safety. Before I realized it, he moved nearer, and my heart fluttered as he suggested we enjoy some time together. The words lingered, and a rush of unease enveloped me. I longed to retreat, to create a distance between us, yet my body remained still, captivated by the moment. As he drew closer, my breath caught in my throat. I was taken by surprise, and before I could gather my thoughts, he moved closer than I was comfortable with, and I instinctively stepped back. A shiver ran through me as an unfamiliar tension filled the air. This wasn't the kind of moment I expected, and I quickly realized I needed to set a boundary. I softly distanced myself from him, striving to hold on to my poise. "What are you up to?" I inquired, my voice quivering with emotion. A whirlwind of feelings enveloped me, a blend of frustration, apprehension, and a profound sense of being let down. This wasn't the way family was meant to behave. My heart ached as the foundation of my trust crumbled beneath me. His expression transformed in a way that caught me off guard, and for a fleeting moment, an unfamiliar emotion danced across his features, perhaps surprise, frustration, or even a shadow of something deeper, something that stirred a sense of unease. He moved closer, his voice carrying a lightness that seemed at odds with the moment. As he gently urged, he hesitated, seemingly searching for a way to change my mind. The words lingered in the atmosphere, thick with meaning, as he made another attempt to bridge the gap between us. It felt as if he believed he could brush aside my discomfort, as though my uncertainty was merely a fleeting annoyance. In that instant, my heart quickened, a wave of exhilaration intertwined with a flutter of nerves coursing through my being. In a moment of profound understanding, I recognized the importance of holding my ground, of gently affirming my boundaries. I had to take control before this moment unraveled completely. My voice trembled, yet I found a way to steady it as much as possible. "This isn't right," I said with conviction, holding his gaze even as my voice quivered slightly. "This doesn't feel right, and I need my space." The words resonated deeply, as if I were drawing them from the very core of my being, calling forth every bit of strength and resolve within me. I noticed a subtle change in his demeanor, a momentary hesitation that spoke volumes. For a fleeting moment, it felt as though my words touched him deeply. Feeling the pull for distance, I instinctively stepped back, the comforting presence of the wall grounding me. The wall seemed to envelop me in a warm embrace, offering a sense of stability, whispering that I was entirely justified in standing firm. If you're still engaged with this video and feel moved by the story, please share it too in the comments to show me you're here with me. In that moment, a deep and stirring feeling awakened within me, an unexpected wave of resolve and instinct to safeguard myself that I had never realized was there. I refused to allow him to sway me or exploit my feelings, regardless of how he attempted to diminish or distort the reality of our circumstances. This was my haven, my refuge, and I deserved to embrace the comfort it offered. I would fiercely protect that right, regardless of the challenges that lay ahead. "Please leave my room," I said, my voice now steady, each word imbued with a calm determination that belied the flutter of fear within me. I understood the need to remain resilient, despite the way my heart raced, its rhythm echoing in my throat. This moment will not shape my identity or undermine my inner peace. This was my haven, my refuge, and I would protect it from any blemish. The memory of the serene moments I recently embraced enveloped me in a deeper sense of calm. Just before he knocked, I had paused to embrace a moment of solitude, discovering warmth and delight in my own presence. It was a moment of profound tranquility, an intimate journey of self-exploration and fulfillment. I had finally released the burdens of the day, embracing a deep sense of tranquility within, feeling harmoniously connected to my own essence. That moment was uniquely mine, a cherished, serene haven of comfort and liberation. Now, here he was, encroaching upon that serene bliss, poised to disrupt the peace I had diligently cultivated. I was resolute in preserving that sensation, determined to guard the sanctuary I had built for myself from any disruption. As he remained there, his expression a blend of frustration and a subtle trace of disappointment. I stood firm, unwilling to give in. I could sense the turmoil in his gaze, a flicker of something deeper stirring within him, yet I remained unfazed. I was completely justified in feeling the way I did. This was my essence, my thoughts, my sanctuary, and my decision. I was determined to embrace it fully, to hold it close and protect it from any outside influence or doubt. As I expressed, "I urged you to go," my tone growing more fervent. I longed for him to understand the depth of my intentions. This was not a matter of discussion, it was a boundary, a delicate line he could never traverse. Standing there, I sensed a deep power within me, a quiet determination that had blossomed in this very moment. I refused to let his disappointment or reaction dim the clarity and conviction I held regarding my own boundaries. "Look, I'm simply not feeling it right now," I added with a gentle firmness, hoping he'd sense my unwavering stance. "This is my haven, a place where I find solace, and I ask for your understanding and respect for it." As the quiet lingered between us, I noticed him grappling with his feelings, trying to come to terms with the fact that I wouldn't yield. A flicker of compassion stirred within me, a gentle whisper questioning his pain, yet I anchored myself in the truth that my own happiness must take precedence. I needed to honor my sense of safety, my tranquility, and my personal boundaries. "I hope you can feel where I'm coming from," I added, gently adjusting my tone. "The moment simply isn't aligned for me right now." He sighed, his expression unreadable, and after a pause, he stepped back, yet I remained resolute. This moment, this experience, was not his to disturb. In that moment, a wave of strength washed over me, a deep awareness that I had stood up for what truly mattered, prioritizing my own emotions and sense of peace above everything else. As he finally began to turn away, a gentle wave of relief enveloped me. From this moment on, I understood that my own sense of self, my boundaries, and my inner tranquility would take precedence over the expectations or desires of others. When I caught a glimpse of the disappointment in his eyes, it hung in the atmosphere, gently pulling at my heartstrings. For a fleeting instant, a wave of guilt washed over me, as if I had somehow caused pain to him, a person who had once held a cherished place in my heart. That gaze, tinged with a subtle melancholy and unspoken frustration, awakened a deep desire to connect, to extend a hand and mend what felt broken. Yet, the moment that feeling emerged, I understood I mustn't let it consume me. This moment felt unique, a line drawn that remained unbroken, even for him. I gently reassured myself, with a sense of clarity, that my feelings were valid and deserving of acknowledgement. This wasn't merely about his disappointment, it was a reflection of my independence, my sacred space, and my inherent right to govern what unfolded within it. My body belonged to me, my choices were my own, and no one had the authority to determine what I should feel or desire. He might feel a wave of disappointment, a flicker of frustration, or perhaps a surge of anger. Yet, I refused to let his response shake the tranquility and self-worth I had so recently cultivated. As he stood there, the disappointment on his face transforming into a blend of confusion and frustration, it became increasingly evident to me that this moment was not centered on him, but rather on my own journey. In that moment, I embraced a choice, a conscious decision to honor my needs, my emotions, and my boundaries, prioritizing them over any expectations he may have harbored. I felt no duty to cater to his desires or to decipher his silent longings, and I refused to let myself be swayed or burdened by his feelings. "I'm not in the mood," I expressed, my voice carrying a soft yet firm conviction. I sensed each word wrapping around me, solidifying my decision, strengthening the barrier I was creating to safeguard my tranquility. I longed for him to understand, with absolute clarity, that I was not merely an object, not something he could possess or dictate at his convenience. I existed in this realm, a personal haven, a place of solace. My refuge, I whispered to myself, a space where I ought to feel cherished, valued, and completely at peace. In that moment, I longed for him to cherish that sacred space with the same reverence I held for it. The room enveloped us in a thick silence, my words lingering in the air as he appeared to grapple with their weight. His expressions danced between disbelief and frustration, as if he were engaged in a silent struggle, seeking a path to circumvent the refusal. Observing him, a subtle wave of empathy washed over me, a brief moment of tenderness for the challenges he faced. Yet, I gently reminded myself of the necessity of prioritizing my own needs, of nurturing my own spirit before becoming entangled in the emotions of others. This moment called for neither understanding nor compassion. This was a moment for nurturing one's own spirit. I maintained my gaze, determined not to let my strength waver. I had the right to express my refusal, to assert my boundaries, and to safeguard my emotions and longings. This was more than merely maintaining distance from him. It was a journey of embracing my power to choose who could enter my sanctuary, a delicate balance of protecting the tranquility I had nurtured with such care. "I hope you understand," I said, my voice carrying a gentle warmth, more to affirm my choice than to comfort him. I longed for him to sense the weight of my words, the undeniable conclusion they carried. "The moment doesn't feel quite right for me." I observed him take in my words, his expression a blend of feelings, disappointment, frustration, and perhaps a trace of delicate pride touched by hurt. His sigh lingered in the air, rich with unexpressed emotions, yet I remained steadfast. I stood my ground, refusing to yield to the silent pull to prioritize his emotions above my own. In that moment, an unexpected warmth enveloped me, a deep sense of pride blossoming within. I felt a deep sense of pride in my decision to stand tall, to embrace what resonated with my true self, and to honor my own desires, unwavering in the face of external pressures. A wave of empowerment washed over me, a gentle yet powerful reminder of my own strength. It whispered to me that I could trust in myself, that my comfort and choices were worthy of being placed above everything else. In that moment, I knew I had made the right choice for myself. I will no longer permit anyone to encroach upon my essence or intrude upon my sanctuary with their wants or anticipations. This was my existence, my essence, and my decision. And that realization, that deep, empowering promise to myself, felt like a triumph. A triumph that belongs solely to me, a reminder to cherish my own well-being and self-respect above all else, regardless of the circumstances. As we approach the conclusion of this narrative, we are enveloped in profound reflections on personal boundaries, the journey of self-discovery, and the bravery it takes to advocate for oneself. What feelings lingered with you after this experience? Share in the comments one insight you've gained that you plan to incorporate into your daily life. If this video resonated with you, we would love to hear your reflections. Remember to show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Your involvement allows us to weave together meaningful narratives that resonate deeply. Thank you for being here with us.